We're back. And we're in Austria now. And we're here for some shit that's not very funny. Funny games, but there's nothing. Well, there was some funny parts in this movie. I'm not gonna lie, I laughed at some parts, but it's not a funny movie. It's
No.
not a funny movie. And funny games, 1997. And seeing the cover of this and knowing what was going on during this scene
Yeah,
is just like,
yeah.
wow.
It could have went way worse though. I thought
I mean,
I thought it was gonna go in a dark place.
It really does go into a
Well,
lot
I'll talk.
of
I'm
places,
talking. You
though.
know where I
I
mean,
mean, as
darker.
far as like, if you're looking for a gratuitously violent film, that's not what you're going to get from Funny Games, and it's not what you're going to get from the director Michael Haneke. But
mhm.
you do get a film that is, he's made so many films, and I guess the only other director I could compare him to is David Lynch. And it's not in style; it's in you get this special feel from a David Lynch film or whatever. It's Lynchian.
Mhm.
Haneke, all of his films successfully give you this creepy quality that you just need a bath afterwards. He's a genius at it. And Funny Games is, where he got, international acclaim.
Yeah, this movie here was just like it was very tense. I'll say from when was it Paul? Is that the dark haired, the brunette?
If I remember correctly, he's never given a name except for Butthead, I
Fatty,
think.
fatty.
No.
Call him
That's what
Well,
he
fatty.
calls the other kid. That's
Oh,
what he
yeah,
that's
calls
right. Oh,
Tommy.
yeah, that's right. He called him the other one. That's right.
yeah. So
But
the
I could have sworn at the end he introduced himself as Paul
I think he did. Yes,
to the
Oh,
lady
yeah, he
across the
did.
water.
he did.
Yeah,
Or that
he
was,
did.
yeah.
So him.
Mm,
It doesn't really get tense until he gets there.
mm,
But there was like I was watching this with my wife and I was spotting some things like when the dude comes, he drops the eggs the first time, and people, you already know how we review shit. It's gonna be spoiler, and we jump
mm.
all over the place. But so he drops the eggs. Well, I'll go back further. So first of all, what are the father and the son working on?
A boat
The boat.
About
or
Okay, so
fish.
they're working on the sailboat.
Yeah, they're
Okay,
working on a
mm,
boat. And, yeah.
and the mother's inside preparing dinner or supper. That's what they call it,
mm.
probably. Um, I had to be correct, James. And anyway, the kid comes back in because they need a knife out there. Dad, we need a knife, mom. And then it's the son's talking to somebody. She's like, "Who are you talking to?" And she's like, "The guy." He says, "The guy at the door." And he comes and asks if he can have some eggs, 4 eggs to be exact. She asks just really quick, just because. Do you want me to wrap these up for you? No, if it's okay. I got to go to so and so. The people, the people next door is whatever to bring them the
Mm.
eggs because they're having guests. And he drops the eggs by the door. And I'm just like right there. First of all that shit right there, it's not going down if I'm home. And I already know how my wife is. That shit ain't going down at all. Like, I don't give a fuck if who's at whose house, who's going where. No, you're not coming over here and taking 4 of my eggs. I'm having people over tomorrow. I need these eggs. That's one. No, I'm sorry, can't help. And then like the father is a fucking coward. He's a coward. And the reason why
Yeah.
I say that is, and I know I'm jumping around. I don't want to jump to that just yet. All right.
Mm.
So anyway, we get that the egg scene. It picks up. He drops the eggs. She
Now,
gives him
was
some.
that a game? Like that's where the game started. Like
Yeah,
to them, they're like, it's how many times
Not
that
where
she'll
the
get.
game started.
Okay,
that's
I
not
was
where it
about to.
started.
No.
Okay, because I thought
Or
they were
no,
like
okay,
testing
they
her.
started.
I
He
thought they were
started a
testing her,
new
like
way
how
the
many
next time.
times is
Mm-hmm.
she going to give us eggs, or before she gets pissed off, type shit.
No, the game. I think the game started when Paul got slapped in the face, which was just oh my god.
Film.
Oh,
The scene in which they're there, it's 20 questions. Is this new music? No, it's this. Try a second, get this, that. Oh, in total bourgeoisie.
oh
And
shit.
then boom, a naked city blasts on. You just see Funny Games. And the the trio, the woman and the man and their son,
Mhm.
you are not to have feeling for them. And they're literally nothing more than generic bourgeoisie rich people.
Mhm.
And this is a very like superficial overtake of this film. It's so much more, but in in his comical way, an obvious way, it's a comment on society and class differences as these two perpetrators, and they do switch names back and forth. Um, you know, basically come out and say, hey, we this, we're gonna play a game. And you mentioned about the whole egg scene and everything. Well, it goes back to that whole idea of upper crust bourgeoisie rich people going to their little like hideaway with all their friends surrounding them, and somebody shows up and they are clean cut and they're wearing boating attire. They're just blatantly trusted. Oh well, they even know the people beside us. Well,
Mhm.
nobody, they're already dead and everything, but it's
Mhm.
that blatant trust of bam. And it's not hit over your head a lot, but there is a point in which the two perpetrators talk about addiction and talk about class in general. And that's the
Mhm.
closest thing to motive that's given. It's not worth beating a dead horse about it, but it is pretty much the only motive you're given by Haneke and the whole thing.
Mhm.
That's actually a really good point.
Mm.
That's actually a really good point
Mm.
because they don't, because even the family asks like, why are we doing this, and like one Paul just says why not.
Mm.
Yeah.
That was his only response, and I'm just like, that's the most dangerous and scariest situations is when they're
He
doing
was
it just because they can or just because they want to, just because or the strangers. Even though the
Mm.
movie's not that great, but they're like just because they're there, and
Mm.
I'm like, that's some crazy shit. Versus like a Jason, he just does it because you're there in that area.
Mm.
A Freddy, you know about him pretty much, you dream about him, whatever, whatever, and so on. And so, what other, you know what I mean? With other things, there's like a reason. There's not saying it's a good reason, but there's like this reason why, and this reason is just why
Mm.
not?
No, this
You're
dude
here.
was like a sadist sociopath. Like this guy, like I don't even know if I seen him blink.
Oh, well, you definitely see him blink when he blinks right at the camera when the dog falls out of the car.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
that
Yeah.
man! I knew that was going to happen. I was like, why do you always got to kill the animals?
Oh no, the amazing thing is, okay, this is 97. Haneke did 3 films before. Benny's Video, which is somewhat similar in content as far as a killing, but it's an accidental killing. So this film came on the heels of like 3 critical darlings. And Haneke decides he's going to play a game. And this is his most experimental film on many levels. Number one, what makes it so uncomfortable are a couple things. You are forced to watch things about people in such a voyeuristic way, it makes you uncomfortable. Like the egg scene.
Mhm.
At
Yeah.
first, you think about it, well, that's useless. But it's that time there in which stuff is getting done. And well, he's something, but what is he going to do? And there's no rush. And you start feeling her tension because she's just pissed.
Mhm.
That's the beauty of this film and also of Haneke. He will disturb you in a way that you kind of feel gross, like you're watching something you shouldn't, and that goes for this film. Um, yeah, it's very different than what we saw in the past couple episodes, and that's
Yeah.
one of the things that makes foreign horror so great.
Mhm.
Because I still to this day hear so many people say, oh, I hate subtitles, I hate subtitles, I hate subtitles. Well, if we champion amazing horror films like this that people are just like, I've heard so much about this, I have to watch them. It's the gateway to finally go, oh, subtitles, fine. So, yeah.
I love it.
Mhm.
I don't know how you can't love foreign film in general, but especially foreign horror, because I'm just like,
Mhm.
over these past few weeks, we haven't watched one bad movie,
Mhm.
and it's all been foreign. That's saying a lot.
Mhm.
That's saying a lot. Like damn near a month's worth of movies, or a little bit over a month now. I think
Mhm.
one or the other. That's good. Yes, it's only 4 movies, but still 5 movies now, I believe. But still, there's been some runs where we'll get like 2 good movies. It'll be just a shit show after that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's like what the fuck, and not one of those shit shows to where it's like memorable. You know, like those
Mhm.
memorable where it's so bad you remember it.
Mhm.
It's the ones where you forget about them. Those are even worse than
Mhm.
they're not worse movies than a Blood Lake, but it's a worse experience in the fact that you completely forget about them. It's like, God, did I really waste my? I
Like the
don't think
second Venom film.
that was bad. Did I
Yeah.
see it?
I remember that my kids and I saw it. They confirm we saw it, but none of us can really remember what it was about, and we don't want to experience it again. So
Oh,
that kind of movie.
Honest, I, honestly, I seen it, and you're right. I don't remember. The only thing I remember, he was going against his own kind.
It was a kick-ass trailer. There we go.
I'll
That
say
sums it
this. I'll take it a step further. I don't even remember if I watched it or not.
up.
I'm being completely honest with you guys.
Mhm.
Because honestly, a lot of movies like that, unless me and the wife go see it in theaters, I'm not gonna watch it on my own unless or if we review it on Popcorn and Pints, I'm not gonna watch it on my own.
Oh, I
Mhm.
definitely seen it. That's right, because at the end, it was the extra bonus scene that how you guys sit through the credits.
Mhm.
It
Was that the
was
one with Carnage at the end?
they could no
Oh,
the
sorry.
second one they connected it to Spider-Man. He
Mhm.
got sucked into the No Way Home or wherever one it is.
Mhm.
Okay.
He
Okay.
picked up a paper. He said,
Licensing fun. Yeah.
"Yeah."
All right.
For the
So I
same
did.
reason why
Yeah,
the
I did see
Deadpool
it.
movie exists, that is now broken all kind of records.
Hell yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
it deserves it.
No.
Well, here's the thing,
that's another.
whether you like funny games or not, and some people honestly, I think they will view it and they will find it boring, is by the time you get through it, you'll remember the experience. Um,
No, 100%.
we yeah, we talked about, the beginning with the eggs in the kitchen and how I feel that that was just so amazing to build that kind of tension. One of the great tension points in the movie comes at what actually James we talked about should have been like the biggest like impact, and that is the basically blowing the head off of about a 10-year-old boy. That should have been like the shock. You hear the gun go off, the tall, dark-haired major psychopath is in the kitchen, hears the gun go off, and continues to make a sandwich.
That's
And
crazy.
you start like literally listening because you want to hear what's going on, like how are these people reacting, and as you start like you don't want to focus on this guy making a sandwich, you start wanting to see it more and more. So when you just see it, literally it just there,
Hmm.
it is shocking.
Mhm.
And one of the really stifling things about this movie is, can you honestly say that you really cared about anybody in this film?
No,
Not
no.
at
No,
all.
because the what they did in this film, and after you watch this film, you really understand why.
Mm.
Like you were saying just a few minutes ago, Trevor. They didn't really make you care about. They didn't really introduce you to anybody. They just
Yep.
showed a random family, and that was
Haneke
it.
would be doing a disservice by allowing us to become emotionally connected to any of these characters. And the only one that you feel a little bit of sympathy for,
It was the
and
kid,
no, not even the kid.
really.
No, I mean, yeah,
Mother.
okay, it's a child. It's a symbol of innocence.
Okay.
People that, but honestly, and it really goes to the belt, because a lot of us had experienced this. The light-haired perpetrator who is constantly called fatty and all that
Oh
stuff.
yeah,
And
getting
he
bullied.
is definitely the second fiddle to the other guy. And no matter how crazy he is or anything, that's as close to sympathy as you get. And
Yeah.
then with this lack of sympathy and it's just there and you almost having it in real time, to have several points, and this is really amazing, because rewatching it, it is so hard to pick up on, is there's about 5 times that the tall dark-haired killer breaks the fourth wall. And
Yep.
he does it
Yes.
several times in
Uh-oh.
the middle of talking to other people, and just kind of goes, and he'll just say something that sees gaze is to you. So, and then we even break the fourth wall more by the idea of, and there is a little bit of an obsession with media. There's a reason why there's a television there, and there's a reason why there's really, it wouldn't be considered gruesome stuff, but people are getting hurt. Yeah, it all boils to this, amazing thing that is funny games. So,
Yeah, that fourth wall thing threw me off for a second because I was like, "Oh, she got the gun and killed one." I was like, "All right, he's going."
oh no, yeah, I'm sorry. I was going there and I got like the movie, I got, taken in another direction. Like one of your characters actually breaking the film by going and finding a remote control and
Yeah,
figuring out how he can program it to rewind everything back and cheat on the game.
that was. I was like, "What the fuck
Totally
just happened?"
absurd. But it yet again falls into that breaking the fourth wall
Yeah,
and even going further. So yeah, the first frame from this movie, Haneke has started the game. And it's all a game on the viewer. And a lot of critics at the time did not care for it. They honestly felt that it was too much. And it was too much of a wink, wink, nudge, nudge to be taken artistically. But there's a reason why it's in the Criterion Collection.
Yeah. Yeah. Scene Slobs, what's up? How's it going? John, what's up? How's it going? And that whole fourth wall thing, I think it's just because I was just saw the movie. First thing I thought was Deadpool.
yeah, I know. Automatically, I was like,
Well,
"What
yeah,
the
I
hell's
mean,
going on?"
I'm just like, what the hell? Does he think he's
but this is
Deadpool
an
or something?
amazing time for cinema all around. This is the core of 90s independence. So, cinema as we know it now was
Mm-hmm.
defined by these 90s films, and this is one of them. This, eventually went on to, this is Tarantino adores this film for good reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this film here was, like I said, it's really intense at the same time without too much going on a lot of the time during this movie. I mean, there's
It's
shit that's went
nerve-wracking.
on in between scenes, but it's like
Yeah.
real intense, real shocking, real like on eggshells the whole fucking movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's on
It's a
eggshells.
nerve-wracking film.
Yeah, yes, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
very. I mean, shit, eggshells after the egg. You guys know where we're going with that.
I do have one
But
thing to question though.
Boom, boom. Mm-hmm.
yes,
I don't know about that golf club to the knee bit. I think the father was kind of faking it a little bit. I hit my brother full swing with a golf ball, a golf club, and nothing happened. He didn't have that. He just had a welt.
Yeah, but I think later on he broke his leg with it.
Oh, he specifically angled it that it would go underneath the leg and pop it out.
Oh, so okay.
Yeah,
I thought he just hit him like in the side of the knee. I was
no,
like, oh,
he
come on.
he either broke it or totally took it out of joint.
Okay.
That's why he has this obsession with the golf clubs.
Yeah.
It's more of a, ooh, I can do interesting things with these.
Hey, they're really good golf clubs because it wasn't bent at all. After beating the dog to death with it and tearing him up.
Another fun joke about, class.
Yeah.
It's like, you can afford such golf equipment, I can kill your dog and break your leg too, and I can still do a perfect game.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Mr. Richman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
yeah. It's it, it's just so interesting how this film how it worked, honestly. Because again, there's not. I can see why people don't like this film. I
mhm,
can easily see why people wouldn't like this film because it's just like there's not enough going on. It's boring. It's taking too long. And I'm just like, this is just building and building and
mhm,
building and building and building because you get to the point to where, I mean, the father after they leave for the night, the father breaks when he starts crying, and I laughed at first because he
mhm,
just screams at first, and I listen, man, it was funny. I'm sorry.
mhm,
And my first thought was, okay, now you're fucking showing up. Now you're finally showing some sort of fucking emotion. Where the fuck was this earlier when you had a chance? You're standing right by the fucking golf clubs, and you see the discomfort in your wife's eyes, and she's like, "These guys won't leave." First thing I'm doing is
mhm.
grabbing a weapon. Yo, get the fuck out of my house,
Yep.
and
Well,
don't make me say it again.
one
I'm
of the
only saying
funny
it once.
one of the funny games that Haneke plays in the movie is this constant like ping pong of etiquette. Like, are we that familiar? Are we not that familiar?
Mm-hmm.
Are you acting the way you should be acting, considering this is your home away from home and you have all this so that in itself is a back and forth, that it's uh, yeah, I mean, part of the thing that, is really weird is because the family, especially the father, fits into the mold that they're making fun of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
Mm.
it's all a game that Haneke is playing with you, and that's why a lot of people didn't like the movie because they felt it was very manipulative. And Haneke has always said the film was an experiment; it was supposed to be manipulative.
Hey,
Mm.
listen, he did what
And
he had to
it's
do.
very different than any other one of his films. But yeah, and I haven't seen the remake, but everybody has told me, and everything I've read is Haneke, everybody except for the cast, just literally remade the film shot by shot.
Oh
Wow,
wow.
Yeah, which was Haneke's big finger to Hollywood.
All right.
It's like,
interesting,
you want
interesting.
me to make a remake? Well, how about if I just recast and shoot everything the same?
Do my own film.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
they did it. They did it for
yeah,
Psycho.
yeah, true.
Yeah, they did. They did.
Yeah.
I was gonna say. So when I first watched this, I thought, okay, it's a home invasion. I
Hmm.
already knew that off the rip. I was like, okay, these guys are gonna take over. I thought the games were gonna be more game like, if you know what I'm saying. I didn't know the game started in the beginning. This is his game,
Hmm.
the
Mhm.
killer's game. I
Hmm.
thought like they're going to play games with this family. Like you got to do this. If you get it wrong, your husband gets shot in the head.
Hmm.
I thought it was gonna be like one of those torture games, like you got to choose, like, oh, who dies? Your son. Well, they kind of did that in this.
Well,
Yeah.
they
Your son
did.
or your husband, a little bit, but I
Hmm.
thought the games were going to be more intense, more like into the game. But he was just rambling out shit. He was like, "Oh, let's play this or
Hmm.
something," and she's like, "No." He's like, then he just like keeps talking. He talks her into it, like you got no choice but to play, you know.
Hmm.
So
Well,
I don't know.
yeah, they are their playthings.
Yeah,
Um, it's there's no question you're dealing with two sadists.
yep.
But it's
I
also
picked
very
on that.
important that they have so little about them. I
Yeah.
mean, so they hold as much resonance as the idea of Michael Myers, except as two young, pretty beautiful pseudo rich guys that have great humor, but otherwise you don't know anything about them. They're nothing. They're
Mhm.
just archetypes for you know
And the one's a smooth talker. He knows
oh
how
yeah.
to. He knows how to
Hmm.
get you.
Hmm.
Well, they're both good at the talking part
Oh
because
yeah.
so Tommy, he uses like the nervousness, kind of shy,
Hmm.
I'm
clumsy.
clumsy. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the other one is like the smooth, or just like he knows what to say. He's quick on his feet,
Hmm.
and I'm just still I'm.
I was getting, I
What
was
it is,
getting
I
at
think
first.
what it is with me
I was
too
getting Mice of Men feeling at in the beginning
with
Hmm.
Tommy.
with both of them. As one was Lenny and one was The other one, the little slower. I thought the one
Oh,
kid
Oh,
was
like
like,
of Mice and Men?
yeah.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah, okay.
I was getting that feel in the beginning until it
Mm.
started going. I was like, oh, okay, never mind.
Well, I mean, there's
I see
several
what's going on.
times that, the we'll call him the fatty character, even though I don't like that because it doesn't. But no, I mean, several times when you just start kind of having a little bit of sympathy for him, then things like he will pretend to cry.
Yeah.
And you will see that, the game in the movie is all about not giving people who are used to having choices any choices.
Mm.
I mean, it veers more on humiliation, and a desire, to, if not make them, submissive, at least make them question themselves enough that, they're pushing what little family drama is being shown. All you can think of is, oh my God, I wonder what these people are thinking. That's up for you to decide. But, it's just like, deciding you're a cat just wants to play with a mouse for as long as you do. And then, the movie also one little one, but I did think it was a masterful thing is at the beginning, the child goes in for a knife. The knife is taken out to his father. The knife, you see it fall. Of course, this is a foreshadowing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it does not work at all
No.
because yes, she does, but they just basically look over and say, "No, no, no, that's not going to be a
Yeah,
thing."
she didn't hide it. She did
Yeah,
she wasn't stealth about it. She just grabbed the knife, started going. They just looked over like, "What the hell are you doing?"
yeah. I
Like, give me
mean,
that.
it's
Threw
just,
it in the water.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
you-
Well, for
you-
her in the water,
well,
you know.
he threw the
See,
knife in
I
first, not
thought,
for
Yeah.
see,
her.
that's another thing. I thought it was gonna be more creative, like on the kill. I was like, oh, what are they gonna do with her? They're like, they just tipped her over the side and that's it. They
That
just
was
kept
great.
going. I was like, what the fuck?
And they broke they broke the rules of the game because it was inconvenient.
Yeah, they broke it
Like,
because
wait,
it
she
wasn't
had
9
another
o'clock
hour.
yet. Yeah, it
Yeah,
had another hour. That's another thing. That bet didn't make sense.
yeah. We got to do the next thing.
That bet
Mhm.
didn't make sense because they had no choice
Yeah.
of winning. They're like, you want to bet
No.
if you're going to be alive at 9
Yeah.
9 a.m.
tomorrow, 24
Mhm.
hours? I'm like, why? I know I'm not going to be.
Which in an American film, if it was made, it would be everything up to that bet, and then a much younger Bruce Willis would jump out and
Yeah,
beat the shit out of
yeah,
everybody,
yeah.
and we'd
Yeah.
have like one guy like with the wife and the child. No, this.
You
Yeah, it doesn't go the direction of a Hollywood film, and that's what
No.
makes it amazing.
you know what I want to say though about this movie? These type of movies are important because the good guys don't always win.
Mhm.
It's true.
And sometimes there is literally no happy ending. Like as far as no survivors, it's just like, look, and they're going to continue to do this
Yeah,
until
they don't
someone.
get caught. They're just moving on
It's
right
like
to
they're
the
going to
next
continue
house.
to do this game until somebody ends them.
Mm.
That's the only way that it's going to stop.
They're gonna wipe out this whole town. They're just going house to house.
Yeah,
They're
and
like, okay,
these
we're
people live
bored with
so
this
far
family. Let's
apart.
go next.
They live so far apart. Everybody's so fucking nice, opening their door right away. Like, no, I'm not that nice. Yo, who is it?
Was
What
this
do you
based
want?
on a true story, by the way?
No.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, damn, I can see this happening in real life,
Mhm.
like two serial killers, like a team.
Mhm.
I wouldn't be surprised
Jeez.
to an extent. I wouldn't be surprised. But gentlemen, let's dive into some ratings. And
Rating.
Trevor, I'd like you to kick this one off for
Okay.
us.
I'll give it a 10.
Ooh,
Ooh.
really likes this one.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
James,
I'm going with a 7.
7. I'm gonna go with another 7.5 like last week.
Mm.
But Trevor, I would love to hear the 10. Because every time somebody hears a 10, we gotta hear it.
Well, it for multiple reasons. There is no other film like Funny Games. You're never going to get an experience like that, especially after you've gone through it from Haneke, which it also holds up. I mean, I think I've seen this film somewhere between 7 and 10 times,
Mm-hmm.
and it holds up. It is a classic of global cinema. It actually, I wish I knew off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure it went to Cannes, and it was the only other film I can really compare it to is Gaspar Noé's Irreversible, which got such a bad reaction that people would scream profanities at the screen, all kind of stuff. I was even in a theater that happened.
Oh wow.
Funny Games received a similar response. And even Caches de Cine is still functioning, if anybody's curious, which was the cinema magazine of the French New Wave. Tried like crazy to, debunk Haneke as a great director. But he is. Uh, you know, this is just his films are all very, very distinct.
Mhm.
And, like I said before, the only thing I can promise with a Haneke film is at some point you will feel so disturbed and unsettled. He he's a true auteur in that. All of his films are that way. A great film to check out next is called The Piano Teacher with Isabelle Huppert. It's a French film, but Haneke directs. It is probably one of the greatest films ever about extreme sexual repression.
Wow.
So, I mean, all of his films veer on the controversial. So,
That's
Okay.
fair though. That's
mhm,
fair though. That's damn.
yeah.
That's cool though. No, that's cool though. But I'm just like, holy shit! Like, there's just wow. And you said it's called the Piano Teacher.
Piano Teacher, yes.
Maybe you have another one I have to check out at some point, James.
Mhm.
For sure, for sure. But
Definitely.
holy crap.
Well, my all-time favorite Haneke, besides Funny Games, because that's how it got me, is Benny's Video. And Benny's Video is about a young man, early teens, who is in a very wealthy family that live in an apartment in Austria. And he has all this video equipment for this time period, which is early 90s. And he is obsessed with a video that he got when his father took him to a farm. And the video is of a pig being shot in the head with an air gun. He
Mm.
becomes obsessed with this. And of course, there's just general, yet again, there's not a lot to really catch on to the family. They seem
Hmm.
very kind of blah. But what they don't figure out is how much his obsession is gone. So when
Mm.
he saw that, I forget in the film whether he acquires or he was so taken at the time that he figured out a way to steal one of the metal shotguns.
Yeah.
And he ends up having kind of a friendish girlfriend kind of thing. And they just kind of talk, play around about stuff. And he shows her the video. And he just kind of goes, and then
Mm.
it's the family dealing with, oh my God, our son, which is literally just he takes, care of himself. He's always cool. He's a great student. Had most likely been planning on killing a human in the same way this pig was because it did something for him. So yeah, Haneke he writes most of his films too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I hope that answered your 10 question without me babbling
That
too
movie
much
sounds
about the
crazy.
wonders of
That
Haneke.
sounds no, I get it. I get it.
Mm,
It's just the intensity of it, and it's different. Like, you're not gonna see anything like that.
mm.
You're not gonna see anything like that. And shit. How do you come across these movies, Trevor? Or is it just like, I mean, I know it's an interest, but like, what movie sparked it? Like, really got you, you know what I mean? Where it's like, I want to dig down this rabbit hole, if you remember.
It's really hard for me because I was literally raised watching movies. I joke with people a lot that I could probably give you 5 to 10 films that, affected my complete viewpoint on life. Um,
Mm.
I was never really exposed to horror till later, but my mother was always obsessed with, what, was going on in the arts, and that
Mm.
especially included film. So I saw a lot, and had to, and I think some cases you could still get dubbed versions because they were actually common them of films like The Seven Samurai and things like that, and it just it just cinema had always been a hyperfixation. So, um, this particular film, if I remember correctly, it was around the time that my friend Eric and I were just really starting to, get to know each other, and Fangoria and Gore Zone, and you still had the underground magazines that were like, send $25 to this address. Please say what movie you want copy of. So this was one of those many movies that around that time period. Was on the radar. It was, shocking foreign film you'll have trouble seeing. So that's how I learned of it.
Okay. Okay.
We got it on VHS somehow. I forget how.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you still watch the VHS?
No. We
No.
rented it. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm thinking you own. I thought you owned the VHS. I was like, oh shit.
No. I wish I did, because you could probably sell that for about $300 now.
Wow.
Yeah. VHS is it's niche, but it's a real thing.
It is. I know it is. And I'm sure through each film community, but I know for the horror community, it's fucking it's grown over the past. I'll say horror and Disney, it's grown over the past few years. Disney has probably always been huge because Disney. Horror, just from paying more attention to it, I'm like, wow, it's definitely grown a lot.
It honestly just goes down to how deep does this horror fan want to experience their movies? Because for us, there's two ways of looking at it. For me and a lot of other fans that I got to know over the years, it was, it's going to be in the right aspect ratio. It's going to be the right, color tint. It's the right cut. It's director or cinematographer, that's one element of fans. The other element of fans are tracking down these VHSs, and they also have either programmed their TV, which can, or they found working televisions because they want to experience it like the first time. Yeah. And the first time for a lot of us was in a living room.
Yeah.
Well, that could mean something else too, but
yeah. No, I know what you mean with that, but that's one reason why I say a lot.
Be kind, rewind.
So. Yes, please be kind and rewind. Yes, rewind.
That's what
they charge
said.
Extra. Rewind. They charge extra.
Yeah.
But I forgot where I was going with my point now. Anyway, funny games. Wild in a sense of, like, again, not a lot of shit going on, but when shit goes on, you're like, oh shit. And again, like the part where the dude shoots the kid, he kills the kid and shoots the dad in the leg. And like you're saying, the dude just looks up, just continues just making his sounds like there's nothing going on.
One quick thing before we move on to
insane
next week is, what exactly happens to the dad? That he died via knife wound, but she wouldn't still be playing the game with him if he wasn't still alive. So for some reason, we are spared seeing exactly how he dies.
I'm assuming he bleeds out though, right?
That's the assumption. But these guys would finish something off where they walked away from it.
So, I didn't think about that. That's true.
I mean, they could always went back, I guess, but
or maybe within the structure of the film, they felt, well, he doesn't even deserve a killing on screen.
That could be it, because I feel like they kind of looked at him as the weakest link out of him.
He was useless.
The wife,
I cared for
and the son.
him less. All
like the son had more balls than the father. The son tried to escape a couple times to try to go do something. The dad just
A cowardly bourgeoisie puke.
Yeah.
Take your clothes off, sweetheart. What the
Yeah,
fuck did you just say?
darling, take your clothes off, darling.
Like in that, I feel like in that situation, because it's going to end bad either way. For me, it's like fight or fight. There's no fight or flight. It's fight or fight, and that's. But again, that's in the beginning. That's at the doorway. That's all right. I came in the house.
This is before they got the gun.
It's like, way before. It's like I came in the house. I see my wife is in distraught. I see my golf clubs. Let me grab something real quick. Yo, get the fuck out of my house. Oh, your wife's. I don't give a fuck how rude she was being. Get the fuck out of my house before I get rude. And that's your only 2 warnings. The third strike's gonna be a swing with a golf club, and I'm hitting both.
I mean, rewatching it, I was waiting for her to beat him with a golf club.
Yeah.
But it's just.
And I understand it in the movie sense, movies after movie, it's in the script and all that. And of course, we had to see this story the way it played out because, of course, it's going to end right in the beginning. Like if it's someone like me, it's going to end right in the beginning. Probably any of us here is going to. I don't think this is going to go how you think it's going to go, young man.
As far as not going, can you believe you actually just watched a thriller horror film in which the psychopaths point out how bad a father this person is, and by the time you get to the end of the movie, you start going, wait, I think that was actually them legitimately saying, hey, no, you should be having more of a reaction to us doing anything to your son.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're soulless.
Yep.
So
yeah. Suffering baby shit. I'm just like, man, I can't respect this guy, man. Like, it's one thing you get your ass whooped, or you get killed, trying to help, but you just sat there the whole damn time, standing there at first, and just, oh man, he really bothered me. Like, he's the
only one we see more in the sun directly.
Yep.
As a matter of fact, the son did escape. He does get away for a little bit.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Yeah, he made, and the wife did too, but she made the mistake. Waving down
jumped
the
in
car.
front of the wrong damn car.
That was torment right there, too. That was a messed up move. They're like, okay, have a good evening. We're out of here. We got bored.
See you tomorrow.
And they come back. Yeah, like, what the hell?
Suspiria.
Which one?
The old one.
It'll be the OG one.
Yes.
Oh, it's always gonna be the OG one.
Oh, I think did I scratch this off on my board? Yeah. Oh yeah, watch this. This is weird.
Nice.
Oh,
I think it's weird.
It is Argento's masterpiece. Yeah.
So I'm excited for
it's
this.
in the weird realm, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's one with Susie Bannion and the Ballet Academy and the witches.
I just wanted to make sure because I was like, I know I watched this because I scratched it off my 100 movie board thing I got off Amazon. You watch a movie, you scratch it off.
I know we're not talking about this movie, but I just have to say it now so you can remind me next week. As you watch this film and the one character falls into a room of an amazing amount of razor wire, ask yourself, why the hell is there a room of razor wire in the middle of a ballet school? But that's the joy of Italian horror and the joy of Dario Argento. A lot of it doesn't necessarily make sense, and it's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
I can't wait because these films. I'll say so far, I think my favorite one out of the ones we did so far is probably I Saw the Devil.
Oh yeah,
just because that revenge is just it's one. And I'm going to talk about that movie a lot now. I'm so happy I watched it. But it's one of those things.
Captivative narrative.
Yeah,
you are stuck in that narrative the whole time. It's not just all kind of crazy stuff happens, but that one is a true character study on multiple levels.
Yeah,
so
it really is because
which is the opposite of this.
Yeah, yep.
Because what the guy does in that, what the cop does, or what he does throughout that movie, you're just like, I agree with him for the most part. The one thing is, I would have taken care of the guy or the guys right like that, I wouldn't have been playing games because what ends up happening.
Mm-hmm.
But then that revenge was just like, because I think the bad part about the revenge is it was like revenge against him, the father mainly, but then you're getting revenge against like his family, and they had literally nothing to do with it.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Even
I
though
mean,
like wait, they took away his family, so I get it. I get it.
mm-hmm.
He's like, listen, you took away my everything. I'm taking you away from your everything.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, it's also, I mean, a very, broad take on it is, to kill the monster, you have to become the monster or worse.
Yeah.
And that, in a nutshell, is one of the major readings of the end of I Saw the Devil. It's very, it's not anything great as far as like, it's right there. But no, I Saw the Devil, and a lot of Asian cinema in general, as far as horror, plays heavily on emotions of characters. What we just talked about, Funny Games, is the opposite. It
Yeah.
plays on as little information about characters. So it
Also,
would be an interesting double feature.
I'll say it was definitely for Funny Games. It was definitely like I won't say it was emotionless, but it was they didn't like you were saying earlier, they didn't make you care about the family at all because they never introduced you to the family, and they never really showed the family. They never really showed the family as a family. They showed mainly the mother in the kitchen, and they showed the son and the father on the boat a little bit, but mainly the mother in the kitchen because that's where the back and forth is going on. That's where a lot of shit's going on between the eggs and all that other stuff. And then with Paul, then all that other stuff, it builds up from there. So there was never a point to where it's like, this family really cares about each other. Like it just it really felt like they just lived. It felt like they both cared about the son, the mother more so, but it just felt like they kind of lived together up until the end.
Mm-hmm.
Up until where, she says she loves him, she kisses him when he tells her to run. Well, and again, I get it. You stop, you hide, like when she was hiding because of the vehicles. But then she jumps.
She hit for the one. Then she's like, "Oh, I can't chance that no more. I gotta wave this one down. Wrong one."
Yes, yes. I almost like when I'm first watching it, I'm like, "Oh shit!" I was like, "What if that was them and they stop around the corner because you're jumping around the street all out?" But then again, like, you know what? That probably wasn't them. Then here they come. Here they come, and I'm just like, I had a feeling. I knew the second car was gonna be.
You can't take a chance. She should have just kept running till she got to a town or something.
Yeah.
Or to the next person's house to use their phone. That's if they didn't go to their own houses and kill them already.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to. You don't know. The thing is, you don't know how far she had to go because remember, they weren't. I mean, they were close. Well, the one neighbor was fairly close. The kid had to go around some water and shit, but because he couldn't get through, he didn't know where the hole was in the gate.
Can't believe they just said, "All right, have a good evening. We'll be back tomorrow."
Yeah, we'll be back in the morning. Like that's just that's crazy. That's fucking crazy.
That's some shit. Like, yeah, they're not going nowhere. They'll still be here. We'll be back. Well, the father definitely his ass. Then he gets his arm dislocated, his shoulder dislocated. So he's useless. He can't stand.
He got punked and his ass whooped all in front of his son.
They didn't even have to beat him up. They made him weak.
Even if the family survives that, his son's not going to respect him. Like his son's gonna be like, "Yo, you take the trash out."
Yeah.
Those dudes were talking. All you did was slap them, Dad. I'm 4. I'm 6. I'm 8. I tried to punch him in the chest, and I tried to shoot him. You slapped him in the face.
Well, another thing, not to go on, but that's another thing that is never really gives you a reasoning why the child is shot. And the thing is, it's going to happen, but the tall, dark, more psychotic of the two, really talks up the kid. Like, wow, this kid's got spirit. I never thought he'd be able to do it. This is so giving more praise to that child than we ever see praise given by his parents. So the only compassion that we can have for that family comes from the perpetrators. All we really know is who they are, and we know that the father is a bit of a weenie.
Yep.
No,
That's
he's
about it.
not a bit of a weenie. Listen.
Yeah, they didn't even have to injure him like he was going to do something. He could have. They should have took out the mother instead of him. Took her knee out.
Yeah,
She did more shit.
Amazing. Big,
the
thick
father in
bratwurst.
Funny Games is a bitch. He is a straight up bitch. I said it, guys. SirSturdy said it. You don't believe me? Watch the movie and you'll see.
First thing he did, he was like, "Is it money?
No
Take whatever you
backbone.
want. Get out of here. Take all the money."
That was when they were on the couch and stuff, though. But I'm just saying he showed zero aggression when he should have been standing up, showing that aggression at the door. That's one. And then two, he slapped him, and he even slapped him hard. Like if you're gonna slap a grown man in the face, you're supposed to really slap the fuck out of him to at least make his head or you damn near knock him out. Not just he gave him like a love tap. Like
yeah, no.
he was like this. Get out of my house. what the hell is that gonna do? No, you have a golf club right there. The arm's like, yo, get out of my house. Have it right over your shoulder. Oh, bink. I'm gonna give you a chance to get out of my house, or you're gonna be laid out like your boy. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And why did they keep letting them walk around all the time? Stay in front of me. Stay near the door. Why are you coming in my house? They let them walk around them to get the golf club again. Like just
I knew something was gonna. I knew something was gonna happen with this family and in this house when the blonde one, Tommy, first came there, and after he drops the eggs, right, and when she goes back, because she sees that he drops the eggs, and she does her little laughy thing. She goes back to get some stuff to pick it up, and he looks out the door. Or no, he's looking out the door. When she comes in, he's looking out the door. And then he's like looking down the hall, and then starts looking out the door. And she's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, nothing." That was after. That was after she cleaned it up. But just that little thing, I noticed that right away. I was like,
"Oh yeah,
he'll be back. He ain't going nowhere. He'll be back."
That's why it was all play. He knocked the phone in the sink.
And then he did that. And then my thing too, I was like, I wonder if they kind of, because they knew the families around there, they knew the names and everything. Besides they didn't know the boy's name. But I'm like, I wonder if they studied these families from a distance and kind of seen, because I'm not saying that it's impossible.
No. It was my take on it, and I think probably I would assume this sounds like something Haneke would want to, make, is the idea yet again that, okay, you have at least 3 houses, and they're all of a similar financial strata with, 2 parents, 0.1 children, most likely 1, and you don't know anything about them. All you know is they know each other enough that they trust somebody who looks clean cut to the point of almost stereotypical, and just by them saying, "Oh yeah, we're friends with so and so."
Oh shit! Imagine me.
That easy, and that comes down to the gullibility of this trio too, because by which in its own way is kind of saying that it's like you're trusting your own a little too much. And that's yet again, it's a very wide reading, but there's a lot of class reference to that.
Oh man, this was definitely a very, very, very interesting watch. The dad's a bitch. The mother actually has a lot of heart and a lot of backbone. The mother and the son. That matter of fact, the reason why he didn't care about that kid that much, because that wasn't his kid. That wasn't his kid. That was hers from a previous marriage. It had to be, because there's no way in hell, like I couldn't even be in a situation like that, and it's not even my child. You're talking to a kid like that and punk, you know what I mean? And just certain shit, like, no, we're gonna fight, man. I'm not gonna just sit here and that's your own child. You're just sweetheart. Just take your clothes off, please. I'm like, what? This guy, man, just kill him first. Get rid of him first, please.
I was hoping that they got rid of him.
You know what I mean? And then just start over. Just start over. Just be a family with these, because, man, like I really had zero sympathy for what happened to the father the whole time. I just felt bad. Not even really feeling bad, honestly, because again, they didn't really give you, like you were saying, they didn't give you a chance to care about the family.
Yeah,
Like they do in a lot of movies. They'll see the family eating dinner together. They'll introduce you to the family. They'll give you not just their names, but it'll be one of those things where it'll be like, oh, remember the time where we blah blah blah, or remember where we used to do this. Yes, they're at the lake house, but that was just like a thing they do because they're rich. It wasn't like a traditional family thing we're doing because we want to do this because we love doing this. I didn't get. I mean, maybe, but I didn't really get that. They didn't show enough from it. Maybe it was that as well.
Well, they're three. The families are 3 carbon copies of affluent families in Austria. There's nothing to really differentiate them.
Okay.
There's nothing. I mean, you know, and that again, because I hate to beat the drum because it is so obvious, but that's, you know, that's where a lot of the humor comes in its own way. And when, you know, he does start talking to the audience, or he blinks at the audience, he's like, you know, it is to unsettle you, but it goes back to the end, like, yeah, we got this. We got this for you guys.
And so the way it ends, when he goes and he, you know, it was just across over at Anna's, and they're having he needed eggs again, 4 eggs. And what got me with that is when he looked at the camera and kind of smirked. And my first thought was, this stupid bitch.
Did you get mad to the point in which you're just like, God, will this guy please stop asking about the damn eggs?
Yeah, no.
I mean,
Well, actually, it was him. It was him this time. He didn't send the other one for the eggs.
Yeah, it was him. It
was his turn.
My thing was more mad at the people being so trusting. And I understand different areas, different whatever the case may be, but I'm just like, still, no, I don't know who the fuck you are. You're not just walking in my house. That's not even. Yes, it's a trust thing, but it's also just like, you're a stranger. You tell your kids not to let strangers in, so why the hell would I do it as an adult?
If you were to take both of those guys and put them in rather worn jeans and a random band t-shirt,
very
and do
sure,
their hair like this, would they have made it in? No fucking way. And if they even said, we know so-and-so, that means we'll call.
Yeah,
we trust you, but we should call. Yeah, so the killers, if you want to call them killers, they play to the stereotype.
Oh, they definitely do. And like you were saying, it's because it's the area, it's the obviously the rich area of that, and they're in the lake houses and all that. So I guess they don't really pay attention to people as much as they should, to an extent. But, oh yeah,
this is all for killing, because they don't take money or nothing. This is just for the.
It's a game for them. It's literally a game.
Crazy.
Literally a freaking game for them. Because if it was about money and stuff, the neighbor's house that they went to, they could have been fine and did whatever they had to do there and left with a bunch of more than enough money and just left without anybody knowing and everybody ever figuring out what they did. They could have probably left the damn country at that. By the time, you know what I mean? Because it was those 3 houses. And they're all separate, and it seems like they're not very like. Versus, like, let's say if us as a crew, we all went to an area and we're like, "Oh, you're staying here, you're staying here, you're staying here, you're staying here." We're gonna be chilling a lot or doing something, probably watching a lot of horror movies until it's time to go to bed. Damn, you know what I mean? Doing shit throughout the day and stuff. But they were just like, there was nothing. The other people weren't even out. Well, the one family was already gone and deceased. But the other lady, like, they weren't even outside or nothing at all. They never showed it yesterday. They go across the water, but I'm just like, still, you would think you're at a lake house. It's nice how you'd be out there having fun. But no, you're just like, you're at home regular. She's inside cooking it. Their dad and the son are outside working on something. And, you know, it was an intense watch. It was an interesting watch. It's a watch at your own risk in the sense of, not watch at your own risk, like for a bad movie. I'll say watch at a risk of like certain shit that may bother you. Like what we've discussed throughout this film. If it's gonna bother you, there's a lot of trigger warnings. Maybe that's a better way of saying it. If it's gonna bother you like that, don't watch it. And the reason why I say that, and this is my message to the world, to the people who watch shit. If you want to rant about it, or if you want to review about it and all that shit, make a blog, cool. But if it's don't make this kind of content, or this, that kind of cool, that kind of corny shit, not cool shit, that kind of bullshit, it's like cancel this. Fuck you, for one. And two, just don't watch it or turn it off. Simple as that. Just don't watch it or turn it off. Because you don't understand the art with some of these things. Some things may be a little bit extreme. Some things may be too extreme for me to watch. And guess what? I just won't watch it. I just won't watch it. But there's certain stories you can get from these films and a different kind of art that you get from these films. Like with this one, you get it's a really good art. It's a really good story. It's a really good creation that you get. And again, you don't see anything like it. I haven't seen anything like this. That's one.
But I won't blame any viewer if they see, which this is happening, if they choose to see Catnado versus this first.
Definitely.
So, I mean, those fans are those fans, and they're lovely.
Yeah.
Those fans, I would say, every once in a while, check out one of these when you don't mind the feels. Because that's one of the bad things about a lot of horror. It tries too easy for the tropes and the jump scares and everything that, where a film like we talked about tonight, Funny Games, actually goes against all that.
Oh,
and
it definitely does.
Refreshing. It's refreshing.
So. I mean, Funny Games is scary in another way because it's so fucking realistic. Like that's how right there is how it falls in the horror category because it's so damn realistic. Like,
well, next week Suspiria is the total opposite. It is very much a fantasy, and if I can, to Sturdy's viewers out there, if you've not watched the original Suspiria, I highly recommend that you watch it in a dark room, very loudly, and just allow yourself to immerse yourself in something that may or may not make sense, and just let it go. And I think you're in for a real treat.
Okay, so I know exactly what that means. Turn the lights down low
and let Argento flow.
Watch that movie. Yeah. Speak my language. I got it. I can't wait. And you know what's funny? I've actually been wanting to watch this movie for a while too, Suspiria, and just I don't know why I haven't. I feel like doing the pod makes it so much easier. And actually, after this episode, I want to talk to you about something. Actually, I want you to stick around for this too, Trevor. But James, because of the poster, because you said you scratched off your poster. Fuck it, I'll say it on this. I think we should start scratching some more movies off that poster and making content with it. Because I mean, we originally were going to do it for the lives and stuff. It's like, why don't we just do it for other shit?
Yeah.
There's a lot on there, and there's a lot of stuff on there that I know Trevor can give us. Uncle T can give us our history lesson on, which I fucking love.
It's like 100.
Well, thank you for appreciating my ramblings.
No, I serious, because what it is about stuff like that, Trevor, it's like we're discussing this film and you know so much about it, and I'm trying to learn so much about whatever film I'm watching. And if you have the knowledge for it, I want to know it. And James is the same exact way. And for you to be, again, I know you just like we do, but you're at another level you're at a different level. Like you're at like.
Well, I am 48 too, so remember.
James is
I'm 41.
Yeah, but no, like as far, especially with like the foreign stuff. Again, you're the professor, and we're like the students learning shit, and I love it.
It is extraordinarily flattering. I don't believe you that's a thing, but it is very flattering, and thank you very much. The bottom of my heart.
It's honest, man. Just again, the way you're. Godzilla. I learned it when we were reviewing the Godzilla films, and James learned it when we were reviewing. It's actually, I think the very first episode you came on. Yeah, I remember what episode it was.
Yeah, I was just listening, and I told Aaron afterwards. I was like, "Yo, he knows a lot of shit."
Yeah, when is he going to be on again? When's he going to be on again? Because it's just like it's so cool to it's cool to talk to other fans about this kind of stuff that are just
Mhm.
interested in these kind of films. And this is my first time watching it. I'm just like, holy shit! Like I'm just, you try to say a bunch of when you watch one of these type of movies for the first time, there's only so much you can say about it until someone like, I guess that's seen it a lot or that just knows this type of shit a lot because they've seen it a lot and they watch these type of films and just foreign films in general.
Mhm.
And you could really like break it down more. And it's like, okay, now we can really have a conversation because now I get what you see, what you saw, and from
Mhm.
what you saw, now I can really break it down in my head even more to what I saw, and from what you saw, you know what I mean? It kind of
Mhm.
makes it make more sense and break it down in a weird way. I know it sounds weird coming out loud, people, but it makes all the sense in the world.
Well,
All the sense.
it just looking at the films that we've done the past couple weeks, you've invited me on, which thank you again.
Of course,
Um, but it's like, the best films, no matter what, and horror definitely, because it's a fandom, is it's okay to watch a movie and be like, what the fuck?
Mhm.
And it's
yes,
totally cool to be like, hey, let's all talk about this because what makes these movies wonderful is there's so many different ways you can take them that they have repeat viewing,
Mhm.
especially when you're, with a friend and they're like, man, I've seen everything. I'm like, wait, and you'll watch it again because once you really like grasp it, you want to see the other person do it. And
yeah,
that's like, us old school video people, like, social networking media, you know.
Mhm.
yes, yes,
Mm,
yes. Oh, I miss video stores so much.
mm.
I miss them so much. We need them
Calling
back.
your best friend up and saying, guess what fucked up film I found? You
Yep.
don't do that as much now. Usually it's like, guess what fucked up film I pre-ordered. So
Yeah.
Yeah, or I'm streaming. You know what? The good thing though, the good thing about the positive thing about the technology and stuff now is like you could do watch parties and stuff.
Mhm.
Which, if you have friends that are in different states now, because we're all adults, which is just a bunch of bullshit. We got to pay bills and all this other dumb shit. Anyway, it's hop online. Let's all we can watch a movie and talk about it. It's just like it's not the same as being in the same room. There's never you're like I'm glad I grew up in the era I did because of that experience of watching these horror movies, sitting in the living room or sitting in the bedroom with friends and family who are
Mhm.
into it. Same thing with gaming and stuff too, but because we're on the horror stuff, and it's just like there's nothing like that because you have the lights off, you're just talking and stuff. Like like now you can, but you can't really have the lights down like off all the way if you're doing your
Mhm.
watch party because you still want to see the people you're. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like at the house, you may have a lamp on in the background just so you're not walking through shit. I mean, 9 times out of 10, you turn the lights off. But I mean, the TV lighting is enough to see each other and see what you're eating. You can't do that with these watch parties if you have your cameras on and
Mhm.
you turn your camera off. Nobody's gonna see shit. They're not gonna see you at all. So
Mhm.
it's like that part is a lot different. Still cool, but I
Mhm.
do miss the whole I miss that aspect of it. I wish I could just snap my yo guys, let's watch this movie. Snap my fingers and we're all in a big
Mhm.
not in a theater, but in like a big ass room, comfortable, cracking jokes and have a good time watching whatever the
Mhm.
fuck we're watching. Like something like this. It'd be cool to watch it with like say watching this movie right here, funny games with you guys, but like in person, I'm just like,
Mhm.
what the fuck, man? Like holy shit! Like in person with this, watching Trevor smile through the whole thing because he's seen it 10 times, and me just like, what the fuck? Holy shit, this is good, but holy, what the fuck's about to happen?
Mhm.
Trevor's over there just making, like, yeah, guys, I think I'm gonna have some scrambled eggs. Like for what? What does
Yeah.
this have a reference to? Like, oh, I see what you did there.
Mhm.
Holy shit!
Awesome.
But yeah, funny games, people. Funny
Yeah.
games. And next week we're traveling to Italy and reviewing Suspiria. And I cannot wait. I cannot wait. That's gonna be a good time. And like I said, I've been waiting to watch that film for I don't even know how long. I just remember seeing the title before and just wanting to watch it. As simple as that. Just haven't for whatever reason. But next Thursday we are right here at 8 o'clock Eastern time, which by the way, before we wrap this up, make sure you guys tune in to Horror with Sir 30 every Thursday at 8 o'clock Eastern time. Sturdo Vision every Friday midnight. Technically 12 a.m. Saturday Eastern time. Popcorn and Pints every Saturday at 9 o'clock Eastern time. And this week, Deadpool, Wolverine. And yes, I'm letting you guys know right now it's going to be spoilers. So if you haven't watched it yet and you
Yep.
don't want to be spoiled, don't show up because popcorn plants and HorrorWithSirSturdy are 100% spoilers. Unless we say otherwise, we usually say otherwise during the live. And that's if we get if we get screeners and they say, hey, don't spoil this, talk about it, but please don't spoil, or at least don't spoil the big reveal at the end, then we won't. Other than that,
that's hard for me. There's too much going on without.
Yeah, for certain things, there's so much.
It's the audience. I mean, the audience for shows like this is movie lovers and horror movie lovers. And we've seen enough horror movies that we don't need the surprise anymore. We're more interested in the delivery.
Yes.
So a film like this will get people to go, hopefully, please,
check it out,
to go out and check this movie out. And I'm going to tell you, even with us telling you everything, it's going to be a very distinct, singular ride.
Oh, it's going to be different. It's going to be like, this is one of those films too, to where, like he said, everything we just told you, it's not going to ruin it. It shouldn't ruin it too much, because the visuals is a whole other thing. The slow pacing of it is a whole other thing. Seeing the pain in the family's eyes, especially the mother, like at the end where they have her sitting on the playing the game with the father.
Yeah,
that last sequence in the house with that right there, she was beat. She was like, I'm beat. I'm finally beat. I'm defeated. There's nothing I can do anymore. I finally have to play their damn game. And she did, and well, we know what happened. We talked about what happened. You guys should definitely check it out. But again, it's one of those, if it's a trigger, there's a lot of triggers in there, read a synopsis, check out the trailer, read about the film. Just because if it's going to be one of those triggers for you, again, don't watch it. I'm not the type of person to say don't watch a movie, but don't watch it if you're going to try to get it canceled. That's my whole play.
Dead kid warning.
Yes.
It's on the dead kid list. So yeah.
It is. Yeah. And that's why I said the cover of this film is just like, holy shit. Like, once you see that scene, no, they didn't kill him when he was in this scene, but just like telling them
was in a blanket. Yep.
Yeah. And he was just like, I don't want your kid to see this. What did he say? I don't want to scar him for life or something. I'm just like,
oh no, doesn't want to question their morale. Yet again, being a very much a ping pong of formality and etiquette, and yeah. It
was like we care, but with a wink, we don't care.
Yeah, it's like,
oh man, but again, people, check this out, and make sure you check out Trevor over on Ambassador Radio Media, because he has some great shit over there. You've heard him on the Scene Snobs when we did all those Godzilla movies. His mixtapes. Trevor always has at least one that you're just gonna be like, what the fuck is that?
90% of his list.
It's real. And I love that, because I'm someone who loves to dig in the crates. I'm talking about with film, but Trevor takes it to a whole nother level. Digging in the crates for film and music. Like, he really goes to a land where most of us have never heard of, but you appreciate it when you have that friend that just like, Trevor. Trevor's the guy. Trevor's the guy who is just like, listen, man, Trevor's the guy you could call, just like, listen, man, I need like 10 trivia questions about some shit that nobody ever heard of, so I can win us $10 million. And he's gonna be the guy that you need to call for some shit. Like, I'll be right back. Have you ever heard of Vegetarian Hand Job? Like, what the fuck is that? Oh, that's a great band. I'm not cracking jokes. I'm just saying that as like something
that actually would be a good name for a band, but it doesn't exist.
And now he's gonna go investigate, and it's gonna be a real fucking band, and he's gonna find out the whole history of it. But I'm just saying though, like, the cool thing about that is, like, he'll throw something at you like that, and then have the knowledge about it, and I'm just like, that is so fucking cool that not only do you have that knowledge about it, but you remember so much shit about so many different things, and like a deep dive on it. But that's the thing though, it's like a deep, it's because like to have the deep dive that you have on a lot of stuff, that just the stuff that we've discussed over podcasting, Trevor, it's amazing, because I'm just like, I'll use Godzilla. That's 40 fucking films. And your deep dive on 40 films is amazing. That's just 40 films, let alone those 40 films, funny games, every other movie we reviewed together, the mixtapes. It amazes me. And I'm just like, Listen, man.
thank you again.
With this type of shit, with the foreign stuff, I'm always making sure you're involved. I have to.
I'm a foreign correspondent, if I remember
Yeah, the
correctly.
foreign correspondence. Yes.
Well, thank you again.
No,
As I
he's our
said,
he's Uncle T with the foreign Uncle T foreign correspondence with the great stories. That's who he is.
mm,
That's who he is. That's
well,
important.
thank you.
Oh yes, yes.
You both.
We mean that respectfully. That isn't like the grandpa. No, he's Uncle T. Uncle T with the good stories. You respect it like Mr. T. Simple.
Yeah.
Simple. But listen, people, we're gonna wrap this one up and get on out of here. This was a fun time. And remember, check out Ambassador Media. Check out Popcorn and Pints. Check out Horror with Sturdy. All of it is in the description. But again, we're gonna get on out of here. You guys have a great night. I'll see you in your nightmares. Peace. Actually, I should be whispering that shit. I'll see you in your nightmares.